Shapika, Kamasha, Yagyashishta, Amrita Puja, Yanti, Brahma, Sanatana, Sarve Te Yagyavido, Yagya Shapita Kalmasaha, Yagya Shishtamrita Bujo, Yanti Brahma Sanatanam. Translation. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reaction, and having tasted the nectar of the remnants of such sacrifice, they go to the supreme eternal atmosphere. Please repeat. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the remnants of such sacrifice, they go to the supreme eternal atmosphere. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. From the foregoing explanation of different types of sacrifice, namely sacrifice of one's possessions, study of the Vedas, or philosophical doctrines, and performance of the yoga system, it is found that the common aim of all is to control the senses. Sense gratification is the root cause of material existence. Therefore, unless and until one is situated on a platform apart from sense gratification, there is no chance of being elevated to the eternal platform of full knowledge, full bliss, and full life. This platform is in the eternal atmosphere or Brahman atmosphere. All the above mentioned sacrifices help one to become cleansed of the sinful reactions of material existence. By this advancement in life, one not only becomes happy and opulent in this life, but also at the end he enters into the eternal kingdom of God, either merging into the impersonal Brahman or associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Shakshurvitnam Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha Shri Chaitanya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, our Gurudev Srila Prabhupada, he wrote many books on the meaning of Bhakti Yoga. He translated this Bhagavad Gita as it is. He translated Srimad Bhagavatam. And the purpose, there's two purposes of all these books of Vedic knowledge. You can say there's one purpose, there's two purposes. We'll talk about two purposes. One purpose is to teach us how do we develop love of God. We all say, I love my family, I love my country, I love my, if you're American, I love my dog. If you come to America, you must get dogs. And I love my children, I love my school, I love my, some people say I love my job, a lot of people say I don't like it. But anyway, the highest love which can satisfy the soul and make us happy no matter what's going on around us is love of God. When we develop or reawaken a dormant relationship that we have with God, just like we have a relationship with people, with so on, we have an eternal relationship with Krishna. But we've forgotten that relationship. So one purpose of the Vedic literature is to help teach us how to awaken our dormant love of God. And the other purpose is to teach us how to prepare for death. So I'd like to ask a very serious question of everybody in here, no matter how old you are. How many people here will die? Raise your hand. How many people will not die? Raise your hand. Okay, there's two answers. Because for the soul there is neither birth nor death. Ajo nitya shashvato yang paranavya. Nahanyate hanyamane shrive. Krishna says to Arjuna, you will never die. You were never born also. Only the body is born and only the body dies. But the soul goes on eternally. So where were we? That now we are 50 years old. Where were we 51 years ago? We were somewhere. And we are 23? How old are you, Bob?
Me, 19.
Only 19. This devotee has just taken a Krishna consciousness over the last few years. And many of us started when we were 19. Good time to start. Actually, it's not a good time to start. Better you start when you're 5. Shriya, how old are you? 9. That's a good time. So, Prabhupada said some very important things here. He said that when you say you're 9 years old or 20 or 19 years old, it means you're 19 years dead, in a sense. Because we're all moving towards that final. So the goal of human life is to prepare for death and to make our next life eternal with God, with Krishna, to enter into the spiritual realm. But as long as we have material desires, we won't go there. We will stay somewhere in the material realm. Say if we're a good devotee, or we're a pious person, or a good Hindu, or something, and you don't do sinful activities, you're very careful not to, you don't go to restaurants and serve meat and so forth. So, but I still have material desires. So what happens to such a soul is that they take birth in the heavenly planets, higher planets, where they can live with more godly souls and better situation materially. But as long as we have material desires, so here Prabhupada said that the purpose of sacrifice is to also purify us from not only sinful reactions, but to reform our habits of sense gratification. Because we are souls, but we're living in this body which is made of senses. This body, here's some senses, here's some senses, here's some senses. So this body has senses. The soul has senses also. But as long as the soul is too busy in our lives, working hard to satisfy the physical or material senses, we are defeating ourselves. So there's so many yajnas. There's so many yajnas, right? This was one yajna, Agnihotra yajna. And there's another yajna, Sankirtan yajna. This is the yajna that's recommended in this age. Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam. In the age of Kali, there is only one way. Kalo Nasteva Nasteva, Nasteva Vicharantam. One way to realize God, to chant His holy name. By chanting Krishna's name always, flooding our mind with the sound of Krishna's name, the mind becomes purified. When one is purified, one can remember his relationship with God. Prabhupada asked one devotee in Los Angeles a long time ago, he said, what happens when a pure devotee chants Hare Krishna? Pure devotee. Either we're pure or we're impure. There's gray in between, but that's impure. Pure means no more material desires. Forever. That's hard to find. Prabhupada was such a pure devotee. But what happens when a pure devotee chants Hare Krishna? Prabhupada and devotees said this, they said that. Well, and Prabhupada said when a pure devotee chants Krishna's pastimes, God's pastimes, blood is mind. God has pastimes. We're always thinking of our own pastimes. You know? I went to the dentist the other day. That is a pastime. I had to go shopping, pastime. I got in an argument with my wife. Now I have to make up and apologize. That's another pastime. So our whole life is like that. God also has his pastimes, his lila, in the spiritual world. And the pure devotees are always in contact. So anyway, when a pure devotee chants, Krishna's pastimes flood his mind. So when we chant in the beginning, and that beginning can be a long beginning, and when we chant, at least we should flood our mind with the sound of Krishna's name, so that all these other things go away for some time. The material ideas, so they're pushed away. We don't really need them. They're not going to save us from birth and death, old age and disease. These are called valuable soldiers. Sometimes we think that my children will take care of me when we're old. That might be true, but they can't protect us from death. And as soon as we die, we have to take another birth again. And then we have to die again. So this goes on, samsara. So if we want to break this chain of samsara, we have to devote our lives to God, to Krishna. Very simple. We put a deity in our home or in our closet somewhere. I think this was a TV closet. Now we're trying our best to make it nice for Krishna. This deity of Krishna, we've named him. His name is Gopala Hari. Gopala Hari ki jai. Govinda Hari Gopala Hari 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 Govinda Hari So we can't always think of Krishna because we have to cook, right? You have to take a shower. How could you think of Krishna while you're showering and doing other things in the bathroom? You chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What if you die in the bathroom and you're not thinking of Krishna? So we should have some time every day where we're doing nothing else but chanting. Of course, sometimes we are very busy in temple life. Also, we may be so busy that we don't have time to chant japa, it seems. So we do our japa while we're driving. Some people are texting while they're driving, and then Hare Krishna devotees are japa while they're driving. But we should have some time where we're just thinking of Krishna, hearing about Krishna, getting together with our friends, and making some food and offering to Krishna. It's a simple process, bhakti yoga. Anybody can do it. A child can do it. We're all still children, right? But a young child can also practice bhakti yoga. They can offer food to Krishna. I have to apologize to you today. We're very busy trying to finish for this. The real grand opening of this mandir, Bhakti Yoga Mandir, is next Sunday. We have Ram Navami. And we're going to have one famous Veena player from Phoenix. She played in Sedona, and 110 people, American people, came to see her. She's at 1 o'clock. And she's starting at 1 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock we will have Odissi dance. Chris, you're doing the Odissi dance. Yeah? No, there's one friend of ours, her name is on the poster. Where's that poster? So, but anyway, some persons were supposed to bring some sabjis and rice. I don't know what happened to them. They're not here, but they promised to bring. But we made a big pot of halva. And we have some nice nectar drink that is also sweet. So, and we can take the halava, put in the puris, drink the sweet drink, be a nice sweet feast. And you can get nice and full and fatty. So, anyway, don't want to take too long. We're going to have an arti. One lady wrote, I was trying to get a conch shell, blowing conch shell from India, somebody could bring back. So one lady, she lives in Paradise Valley, one American lady, she wrote, I don't even know her, and she said, I'll bring you a conch shell. But then she's traveling somewhere today, so I won't get it, we won't get it till next weekend. So we don't have a conch shell. But you do what you can, you know. Krishna is more concerned about some bhakti. Does anybody here have any questions? First day. Yeah. And we're not trying to really start, everyone should have a temple in their home. Prabhupada was a Vaishnava, Gaudiya Bengali Vaishnava, and he worships Krishna and Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, we worship Vishnu and Rama, but mostly we concentrate on Lord Shyamasundar or Gopala Hari. So we also have Giriraj, Giri Govardhan. You'll see looks like a little rock with eyes. That's from Govardhan Hill. So, but anyway, the best one could turn any place into a temple. And but we're not trying to compete with the big temples that are here. There's an ISKCON temple that I helped start, and Dr. Mishra and me together, we helped start back in 1996. It's in Chandler. Yes. Yes. Now, we're maybe 40 miles away, I don't know, here in Scottsdale. Our idea, or Krishna's idea, it appears to us to have this center was to simply inform people more about the big tirtha we're trying to help manifest in Sedona. Very, very big tirtha. Sedona Center for Agriculture. It's costing many lakhs and lakhs of rupees. But anyway, it's still in a planning stage and manifesting stage. But it'll take, you look at that poster, it's a big project. It'll go online, but we need help in many ways making that happen. But if you know some people who are very influential and have a lot of rupees, big people, people need to spend the money somewhere, or the government will take it. Any of you have questions? Doran?
Not top of my head, no.
Doran's, of course, American. He lives in Avondale and he practices Bhakti Yoga. He started reading Prabhupada's books and chanting without even meeting any devotee in person. A few years later, right? And we just met his whole family at the Holy Festival. So we're not trying to compete. This is important. We're not trying to compete with anything. We're just trying. We have a nice retreat place. You want to get away from Phoenix sometime? Mm-hmm. Everybody leaves Chennai and they go on a pilgrimage to Tirupati, right? And it's good to get away. And people in Tirupati, they also want to get away. So they go to Vrindavan or somewhere. But anyway, we have a place here now. And we have a Goshala up there. You see pictures of our cows and bulls there. That's Nandi Baba. He's the main bull. He has 3 wives down below. You see the pictures? Parvati, Shakti Ma, and Ahi. Like a Ahimsa. And now we have 5 cows and 3 bulls. So, any other questions? And we're very honored to have all of you. We didn't know how many people were going to show up. That's what we have to say. How can we compete? I also go to Balaji Temple sometimes. Beautiful temple. Hatha worship. But we're going to invite people here to chant and dance with us. We'll have a Ram Navami festival. Sunday now, every Sunday, 1 to 3. And next week there'll be more, you can say, enlightened entertainment with the Vedic and so on. So it'll last a little longer. But we're having 1 to 3 so we don't conflict with the program they're having at the Hindu temple, or the Islam temple, or the Balaji, of course they have programs all day. But we're trying to have something at a different time. And if you have not visited us, our Vedic ranch, we ask you to come and visit up there. We also have some rooms that could be used for stay. They're also big rooms. It's a big place. And we have brochures there about the Sedona project on the table. Dr. Mishra.
Hare Krishna.
This is Dr. Mishra.
Right. We are very grateful that Dr. Prabhu has invited us. He has established first temple in Tucson back in 1986. Then he also established a temple in Phoenix, first temple in Chandler, Hare Krishna temple, Shri Radha Madhavi, since 1996. And I came to know of him. Right now he has this mega $1 million project in Sedona. And recently he visited a Dharmashala in India for a conference. And one astrologer predicted that effective May 2018, I'm not pushing 2 more years, effective May of this year, 2018, he will get support of Sedona Center of Vedic Culture. So this will be his one of the main projects, temple projects. He has been empowered, as people say, as other songs say, he has been empowered by Sri Prabhupada to establish temple center for Krishna conscious teaching. I'm very blessed that he invited me. With his inspiration, we have been running a Goshala in Chandler and Santan Valley. There is another Swami, Venkat Swami, he is leaving today for California. He also inspired through our program. So we are running Goshala for the last 8 years in Santan Valley in Chandler. It's all volunteer-based organization. And in today's time, in Kali Yuga, chanting of holy names, Sankirtan Yajna, started by Narad Muni, and then of course through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then Sri Prabhupada. That is the biggest yajna. So we are very blessed to have participated in chanting of the holy names. So with that, I wish all the best for the Sedona Center of Vedic Culture. I hope you all will go there, hopefully in a couple of years. It's very organized, everything is organized here. I have visited other facilities in Sedona. How many of you have not been to Sedona? Raise your hand. Who have not been to Sedona? Everybody has been to Sedona? It's beautiful. Very good. Yeah. I was sick one day, sometime ago, I was sick and I didn't want to try any medicine. So I said, let me just go for 2 or 3 days. So I have a friend who used to be Pujari in Radha Madhavi temple, which was taken up from the fall. So I stayed for 2 nights and everything gone, totally gone, totally gone. So once again, humble ourselves to Sri Prabhupada. Jai.
So we're going to have an artik now, simple artik. Everybody could stand and come around the altar, and so you can see the artik, and then we'll take prasad. And when you take prasad, there's table outside, there's grass.